When we found and solved the root cause of a problem, it's important to not just check if this solution works to solve the problem, but also if the solution itself works for your people and your organization, so that it will become a new habit. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today's video is on how you make sure that those improvements, those countermeasures to problems that you do after finding a root cause will actually stick. I mean, that is important. You did all the work to find the root cause, to get a good countermeasure. You hopefully checked already that it works, at least when you are doing it yourself, but now you also want it to work when the team dissolves and when it should become the new best practice or the new everyday practice for your organization. And that is embedding the countermeasures that you made on the root causes of any problem in a problem-solving team. By the way, the same also goes if you are doing process improvements. If you're doing any improvement, you are going to change a standard. It can be change a setting, it can also be change a machine or a work standard, or maybe get a different material. In whatever way you are changing things in the process, improving or making sure that this change will eliminate, counter a problem that you have found. And then you want to check, how do we really keep it stable? How do we make sure that this sticks in our operation? And what is usually then done is that we say we follow the Pdca cycle, right? So we plan to do our countermeasure, and this is already after we did the root cause analysis and we defined the countermeasures that we're going to put in place. So you plan to put those countermeasures in place, then you do this implementation, and then it's very important not to stop, but to continue and check, did this countermeasure really eliminate the problem? So there are two important things. The first is this countermeasure, we have to check, does it fix the problem that we found? So the problem no longer comes back. Another thing to also always check when we are working in existing processes is to check, did it not unintentionally also damage or seriously change some other part of the process? Because we don't want to be creating new problems with a countermeasure to the problem that we saw now. Very important, especially when checking, is the process still safe? Is food safety still, or pharmacological safety, when you have these things in the food pharma sector, very important. But in general, is the quality, food safety is also within the quality, is the quality of our product still good? And then of course, well, it shouldn't cost too much, but those are already sort of the minor things. We need to still have a safe and qualitative process. But then we check, so we do a validation of our countermeasure, and if there is a problem, we act on it. If there is no problem, well, we basically don't act it, and our process just continues. We continue to produce, and at some point maybe we'll find in our Pdca cycle again a check that something might go wrong, but you basically close, for as far as that possible, the Pdca cycle on this countermeasure. And with that, I have a bit of an issue, and that is because the way most people explain the Pdca cycle, like I also just did, is to look at outcomes. And here is where truly embedding a countermeasure takes an extra turn that is very valuable to explicitly mention in your problem-solving teams and also in your improvement initiatives. You see, in a process, we have inputs and outputs. And what we are usually doing is, when there was a problem somewhere, right? So we had a problem in our outputs, we started up our investigation, we found the root cause, and in the end it turned out that there was a problem with one of our inputs. Which is quite common, right? Usually, especially if you are truly problem solving and finding a root cause, it is a single input into our process. And what we then do is we check, was the output okay now? So we fix the problem and then check, are our outputs now again okay? And if it is, nice. But what we would like to do is prevent this type of problem occurring again. So what we also want to do is continue to check this input variable. So checking the outcome is good, but also check your incoming, your input into the process. Because the way our processes, most of our processes are built up, especially within manufacturing, if all the inputs are the same, the process will do the same and give you the same result. This, of course, this is Six Sigma thinking also. Make sure you stabilize all your inputs and you get as stable an output as you can expect from any machine or process. Now, that means that when we check the input, there is a much better chance that we will get the same results. This is a proactive, a leading way of making sure the problem doesn't pop back. But it's also very important because as soon as you are, or at the time that you are doing your problem solving, and there's a team on it, there is management attention on it, and people know that this is being done and it's new, but it's being done for combating a certain problem, they will go the extra mile. They will do a couple of new, not very easy or very flowing ways of production. They will be sort of okay with having a slightly more difficult method of working because they know that will give the results. And because of that, when you do your validation and you check the results, you do not see that your solution may actually be very brittle. So it can break at any time, because after a couple of months, when this whole outcome pressure and the whole idea that this is a priority problem for our operation is off, people will revert to a more easy way of working. Small things will slip through the cracks. Maybe new people are being educated, or still an old way of standards, or they simply don't know the importance of this recent change. And that's why we also do process control or process confirmation, where we check these inputs. So you do check the output, but also really individually you make sure that the setting is correct or the way of working is correct. And in practice, how you do this is when you are actually sort of done with implementing your countermeasure, go and check how it is performed. Go and ask the operators or whoever is working in this process, maybe it are the planners or laboratory staff, but the people performing this recently changed process, how is it going? Collect this information over shifts and definitely also get it from those people who were not involved in the problem-solving team itself. So they didn't have this whole path of growing towards this countermeasure, towards this answer to our problem. They just got it as an instruction. Now you have to work like this. Ask them and observe them how it is going. Do they do it every time? Is it easy to do? Did we actually change the instruction documentation? Did we make sure that everything around the change is in order? And for that, we have a four quadrant type of idea to check if this is good for the new operator, or good for any operator in the new standards. This, by the way, is next to one of the things I did show you in a previous video. Do look it up, which is the 5 questions for 0 defects. It's especially nice if you change any standard, so that can be a machine standard, it can be a way of working. The 5 questions, which are: is it easy to get? Is it easy to learn? Easy to put into place, to implement? Does it deviate? Do we see any deviations? And is it then easy to correct the deviation? But the one I want to show you now is more about the first phases of getting a change really into the system. And for that we say, I know, I see, and I feel the things that I need to be doing the process in a different way. And this here is, it means the instruments are there, the area around it, everything is ready. So the systems that we put in place, the tools that we hand out, these are the conditions around the work. So does my operator have the tools needed to do the standard in the new way? I know it means that the operator is trained. So they know how to perform this action, how to perform this standard in a new way. They are trained, they know why it is important, but especially they know what they have to do, why they have to do it like that. Now, IC is about the people around you. So are my colleagues also adopting this new change? Do I see my managers reward people who work or act in the new way and, well, punish or at least correct when it is being done in the wrong way? Do I even see management and colleagues pay any attention to the importance of this? And I feel, or maybe also good, I understand. So I feel that this is important. I know that we need to make a change. I understand why a different behavior or a different material or something that has changed is important. I know that it creates a very desired end result and that it's important. So get these 4 pieces of the change puzzle into place when changing a process, and then go and check, go make sure, and actually the checking is also part of this. I see that it is important. I see people around me in a different way. Go check and fix any obstacles, because during the checking you will probably see problems in one or more of these puzzle pieces. You may see that not everyone was trained, or you may see that the new way of working, it is a bit more difficult. People have to do an extra walk around the machine, or tools are not in the place where it's easiest. You can still fix it, and when the project is still running, you still have the time to fix it and you have the management attention. As soon as you let this go and you did not put your puzzle pieces into place, the chances are very big that you will be having exactly the same problem-solving team in half a year or so. And that's, of course, not what we want. Now, I hope that this got you thinking about how to properly embed countermeasures. Think about what do we need to put in place. Think about we need to check also those inputs into our process, not just validate, although that is a very important first step. First validate that the countermeasure works, then make sure that it's easy to follow. But do make sure that it's easy to follow, that it becomes a habit, and your organization will be so much stronger for it. Now, if you like that, don't forget to hit that like button. And also, do drop me a comment if you want any other part of this problem-solving puzzle, this problem-solving method to be explained in similar videos. If you want the problem-solving template, by the way, click the link below, if you haven't done so already, to download my 6-step explanation and sort of workbook template. It's an Excel form on how to guide your problem-solving teams. And for now, I wish you the best of luck in your problem-solving, making sure that your countermeasures really stick, and as always, to enjoy that improvement journey.